I was wrong about the Apple Watch. I should have got one years ago. The reason I didn't was, there's a few reasons. One was maybe didn't have the spare money, but the bigger reason was I was worried about notification overload. You see, I was thinking, man, if I have a watch strapped to my wrist that's gonna keep feeding me information from all these apps all day long, it's gonna be buzzing, it's gonna be going crazy. And I just thought, I'm already, borderline addicted to my phone. I don't need more notifications in my life. I want to be productive. I want to get things done. I've, taken certain precautions to set my phone up in a way so that I'm not just like always presented with social media and other temptations and distractions on my device that pull me away from my productive and personal life. So I didn't want another, thing blaring at me and going off all the time. So I put aside the thought of getting an Apple Watch for many, many years because of this reason, and I was completely wrong. I should have done this years ago, and I want to outline a little bit of why I think you might want to get one. Maybe it's not for everyone, but I certainly do recommend an Apple Watch after this last 3 months of having one. Even though I haven't been a watch person over the last 5 years or so, I've had seasons where I have had a watch like prior to that, but just didn't really last for that long, and I can easily live without one. But I've always been a tech person. I like technology. I like Apple products. I'm not an Apple fanboy. They just make really good stuff. So as long as they keep making good stuff, I'll like their products. And I'm in the Apple ecosystem. Got MacBook, got an iPad and all that stuff, iPhone. And the Apple Watch just kind of made sense. But the thing that I was so concerned about, all this notification overload, it turned out to be a complete non-problem, a non-issue, because one of the awesome things about this little guy is you can set which apps will notify you here. And so I can really reduce it down to just give me the things that I really want on this and have my phone doing a whole different set of notifications. So on my phone, I do have my apps set up so that more things are notifying me, all that kind of stuff. But on my wrist, I just have those things that I really want, maybe a timely response or I feel is high priority. So for me, that's things like a WhatsApp message, a phone call, and maybe just a couple of other apps like that. And everything else is basically turned off. So this thing is not vibrating and going nuts on my wrist all day. I don't know if you can see it there. It's very manageable. And the amazing thing that I've found as having an Apple Watch, and why I actually would recommend to many of you, especially those of you who are worried about your productivity and you don't want to be distracted by something, is this will actually reduce your distractions. Yep, it's true. Having two devices will mean you'll actually be distracted less, because what happens is you will get a text message or something like that, and you'll just be able to quickly flick your wrist and see whether that's something useful, something important, something urgent that you have to get back to. Whereas with my phone, I think a lot of men could relate to this, and maybe some of you women as well. I keep my phone in my pocket, and so when your phone goes off, you have to pull it out to see whether it's something that's actually worth your time. And when it's on my wrist, I've filtered firstly by app, because I know which apps are going to notify me, and there's a lot wider, a broader base of apps on my phone, so I don't know which one is going to be vibrating and alerting me. So firstly, it's by app, but secondly, I can filter just by having a quick glance. My hand is always with me. This movement to go like that is so quick that it doesn't matter where my phone is, this is going to be faster. And so I can immediately judge whether or not that's something that I want to engage with right now, or whether I want to ignore it and get to later. I would say this is arguably the main reason why I think you should buy an Apple Watch. And by the way, no, of course I'm not sponsored, but Apple, if you want to sponsor me, come on, hit me up in the comments. I would love that. This is an unpaid review. I bought this with my own money, and I get nothing for these tech reviews. Look at my subscribers. I've got like 60. So yeah, I'm not getting paid for this. But I think you should get one because it's going to help you to filter out less important stuff. It's another filter. So it means you're actually going to be more focused. You're going to be more productive, and you're going to be more engaged with the conversations that you're in with the people in your life, right? We're trying to escape this thing of being attached to our phones. This actually helps. I thought it would make it go, I thought it would be worse. And so that's the core reason why I was wrong and why I recommend you should get one. Now, I do think that being able to glance is a superior thing. I think that's one of the huge positives of this. But there are other things that are just better on the watch. Obviously, knowing the time is better than looking at your phone. I mean, it's faster to do that. That's obvious. That's why we have watches. But another thing is, and this has surprised me, is I have set up an authorization app. So, like a two-factor authentication, when your bank sends you like an SMS and you have to put the code in or whatever. I've set that up on my phone. I use the app Authy by Twilio. Don't know if you know it, but there's a lot of them. I think there's Google Authenticator and things like that. So I get my codes sent to my wrist, and that is really helpful. I do a lot of digital marketing and things like that. I have a lot of services that I need to log into that use two-factor authentication, and it's just better than getting a text message. It's better than using your phone. It's just a lot quicker to glance on my phone, okay, boom, and then put the code into whatever I'm working on. So that's been a real surprise. Didn't expect that. Maybe that's not relevant to a lot of you out there, but to me, that was a big deal. Another thing that I really love about this is NFC kind of technology and payments and things like that. Obviously, you've got all the things like your credit card and all of that, and I use that a lot. I have that on both my phone and my watch, but I also use this for my train card. I actually live here in Hong Kong, and we use a card called the Octopus card, and I have mine in my watch, and that's just super convenient to just be able to pull that out. I've left my phone in my wallet. A phone in my pocket. I don't need to pull that out. It's just always there on my wrist. So what I'm talking about here is a lot of this is just convenience. It's just going to make things faster, smoother. It's going to make you more efficient. It's not going to lead you to just like device overload. In fact, I would say that I'm almost a little bit disappointed with how little I use the watch and all the great features that it has, because I'd say I use about 3 to 5% of the capacity of the actual watch. For example, all of the health features I have not been using because I have not been working out. I need to, I should, but I'm not doing that yet. So look, if you're a person who cares about your health, it's amazing. I'd get it just for those reasons. A lot of those things are just sitting idle for me. And so I'm just using it for a few things, but it is streamlining my life, which is really nice. I also use it to take junk calls. I don't know if you ever get spam calls. In Hong Kong, it's crazy. We don't have any laws stopping people from spamming you. So we get a lot of phone calls all day. Probably get 3 a day, 4 a day. And usually you can tell by the kind of number whether or not it's a junk call, but occasionally I'm getting deliveries to my house that uses a similar kind of phone number. So I do have to answer them and just check who it is. I do that on my wrist. I take the call and I don't have to pick up my phone, and I think it's a junk call maybe, or is it a delivery? Okay, I just take the call on my wrist, and then it's not great sound, but I don't care because it's mostly going to be a junk call. And if it is a delivery, they're just asking if I'm going to be home in 10 minutes. So that's really convenient to take fast calls. Obviously, you don't want to have a long conversation on this. It's terrible for that. It's hard to hear. But for any short call, it's fine, and they have no problem understanding you. I've never had them saying, sorry, I can't understand you. I speak clearly into my watch, and it's pretty great. So there's a lot of great things there that I love. I also love the fact that I can have photos. So I've got photos of my kids and my wife, and it's kind of rotating and showing different ones here, and I just love that. It's kind of got this 3D effect, just makes it more enjoyable, the experience. So a lot of good things there. Nothing that I would call life-changing, but just life improvements, some tweaks that are really nice. Now, some of the downsides, I think the biggest downside when I got this was working out how to adequately protect it, because the problem, and I hadn't heard many people talking about this, but the problem is because it's on your wrist, your hands and your arms are very active and they're all over the place, and it's very, you don't realize how often you might accidentally hit something, and it may not be hard, but you might just hit the corner of a brick wall or something like this, and because this sticks out of your wrist, the watch is going to be the first thing that makes impact if you're unfortunate enough to have it in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so I just realized very quickly, I'm going to scratch up this watch very fast. And so I tried getting those screen protectors, and they work really nice, and that made me feel good. But I soon realized that the issue is not just the screen. It's kind of like what you want is something that raises the edges. And so I ended up going with this kind of thing. So I bought the official Apple things. I got the nice Solo loop, the braided one. It's really comfortable, looks great, but it provides absolutely no protection. And I would put a screen cover on the top of this, a screen protector, but the device itself is still very exposed. And if any big shocks would probably still crack the screen. So I've gone for this approach, which I wasn't really prepared for this, but let me show you. This one just kind of, you pop out the middle section, and I just got this off Amazon. You can buy them, they're about 20 bucks. And I love this approach. Even though they're cheap, I've bought the expensive ones. The Apple ones cost a lot more, but this has been amazing. I will buy these again once this one dies. Because it's got a raised lip. It looks cool. It looks like chunky, which is what I like, being a guy. It doesn't even really necessarily look like an Apple Watch. I don't really want to look the same as everyone else's. So I think it's a bit unique in that sense. It's rubber, I can swim with it. And it's got that raised lip. And so I don't actually have a screen protector on this. When I actually had both at the beginning, but what would happen is the large case would kind of bunch up against the screen protector, and it would end up causing air bubbles that I just couldn't get out because it was constantly putting pressure on them. So I decided to just take off the screen protector completely, and it's been great. I've been using this for months now with no screen protector, and the screen is still very beautiful because of that raised edge. So that's the annoying thing, is you're gonna have to work out how you're gonna protect it in a way that lines up with your fashion sense. So if you're a female and you want something more elegant, you might struggle to protect that really well. So just have a think about that. How are you going to protect this thing? Because if it's all scratched up, within a year, you're not going to want to use that. You're going to want to replace that. And I want to get a number of years out of this. And I will just say that I think I'll get a good 5 years out of this. And I like having up-to-date technology. I update my phone every 2 years. But I will not be updating my watch every 2 years unless they release some crazy, amazing updates that I really, really want. But I think most of these updates are just incremental changes and not big changes. And so I think, yeah, I'm planning to get a long time out of this, like I would out of an iPad or a laptop, which tends to last me, 4 or 5 years at this point, which is great. So some other downsides, yeah, the screen protectors, they kind of suck if you don't have a bigger case. I would also say that you have to reprogram yourself with how you use payments. I mentioned with the credit card that I have my credit card on both devices. Well, my Train card, my Octopus card, won't allow me to register on 2 different devices. And that's really annoying because occasionally I will not have my watch on and I go to use my phone and obviously it's not on there. So I'm now dependent on having my watch, and I use that same NFC chip to get into my house. I live in a big apartment building, and we use our Octopus cards, our Train cards, to get into our house. They're very, very useful. We use them for payments, 7-Eleven, that kind of place, McDonald's, small payments. And so I now have to wear this every day. So you might, if you rely on some NFC technology like that, those kind of payments that is not able to be put on both devices, you're gonna have to be dependent on your watch. That's okay for me. I bought this wanting to use it. I don't want it just sitting at home. So I have decided that this is gonna be a part of my everyday life no matter what, because I have to now because of that NFC stuff. Probably another minor annoyance is I now have to take a different kind of charging. Where is my thingy? I think I got it here. No, I can't find it. Anyway, I have to take another type of charger with me when I travel. So that is annoying. Like, that was another cable that I didn't need. When the latest iPhone, which I'm actually filming on right now, the iPhone 15, when it moved to USB-C, I was really happy with that because it means I can have my laptop, my iPad, and my phone all on the same cable. Well, not anymore with the Apple Watch. So I actually invested. Let me grab this. I got this, and I've done a review on my channel already on the Mag 3 from Atom Elements, something I bought in Taiwan. This thing has been awesome. Got my phone there charging, my AirPods there, and my watch on the back. So when I travel, I just take that and one USB-C cable. And so that's the solution to not having to take multiple, cables. And so you might want to invest in some kind of stand that does multiple devices, especially if you have an iPhone. So yeah, like I said, I expect to get 5 years out of this. It's great. I've enjoyed it. It's mostly still just a watch. It's not going to change your life, but it's got some nice advantages that I think you're going to enjoy. And as long as you can find something that suits your fashion sense, because obviously this is the difference between this and maybe a laptop is it's really got to match with what you're wearing. And so you're going to want to look into accessories and all of that, but I think that's fun. And I think there's so much out there. There's a huge ecosystem of accessories and manufacturers that make great stuff for Apple Watches. So I think you should do it. If you got the disposable income, grab one. I think you won't regret it. But if this is going to be a stretch for you financially, don't do it. Okay, you do not need this device. I could happily live without it, but it's nice to have. And that's what I've learned over my last 3 months of having one of these. Awesome. Well, if you enjoyed that, make sure you've left me some comments down below and tell me what you feel or what your questions are about the watch. Tell me about your experience with it if you've got one. And why don't you check out my channel for some other great videos and reviews. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.